Hi, and welcome to the National Veterans Radio Show. I'm your host, Tammy. I'm the liaison for faith-based initiatives at the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and we're super excited to be with you today. As everyone knows, our wonderful veterans, we're going to be celebrating them on the 11th, and so we were kind of hoping to get a Veterans Day update from our CEO and founder, Joe Molina. So, Joe, welcome.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. And I think it's very exciting to one more year provide our veterans an update of what the chamber is doing, how they can get involved, our new programs and initiatives that are coming to play or they started in 2025 and who are leading those initiatives. And I know we're going to show a video in celebration and honoring those who have worked with us along the way in 2025. So, but yes, I would like to kind of give everyone an update of what are the things that we are currently doing and how we, as a Veterans Chamber, can impact the communities and also how they can become part of those initiatives and maybe even lead some of the initiatives that we are launching in 2025 and also 2026. So I would like to start with our initiative with the veteran-owned business um, groups. This is something that it was in the making for a year or so on creating uh, platforms, um, areas where veteran-owned businesses could come together, do a mutual support, regardless what kind of business you're in, you can fit in within one of our groups. And our groups are set up to be uh, independent and also be run by a veteran-owned business with the focus and the mission of supporting each other businesses. And the idea and the goal is to set up and to have the opportunity to set up one group per city. So wherever someone is located, whether it's the city of San Diego or the city of Sacramento or whatever city that is, that someone can come forward and say, hey, I want to work together and set up one of these groups. Now, the great advantage and the difference between this networking groups or clubs, we also call them clubs, is that they're all veteran-owned businesses. Everyone who is part of it is a veteran-owned or military connected. So we also have military spouses, military parents who are also business owners, and we welcome them as well. And so they come together and um, share resources, share contacts, seek advice, or just mutual support within the local community. And that's very powerful. In other platforms, other networking groups, it's very kind of more commerce driven. Our groups are more personalized driven. So it's more of a how can my business help your business kind of thing. So is the mindset is north focus. So is focusing on the north part, which is how can I help you be more successful? Because the same way I'm helping you, somebody else will be helping me. And it's that interactivity, camaraderie that takes place that we are as veterans very used to that. So that's one of the programs that is what our newest program. Um, do you have any questions on that?
Well, it's interesting because I think we had also talked about this program a little bit last month, and it really seemed like it was something that would be very beneficial to small businesses, especially to be able to collaborate with one another. And so I'm looking forward to hearing as groups get started. And you had mentioned like, Sacramento and San Diego, which I know are in California, but the chamber is nationwide, right? So, I mean, people from any city could form their own group there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's a really great point. I just use those because that's just the first thing that came out to my mind. But New York, we do have a group in New York that started. That one started. That was one of our pilot programs. That started in 2024, and that one is located within a company. So even though we're focusing on cities, but we're also focusing on people who are within a company, and because they also, veterans are very an entrepreneur, and so even though they're working somewhere, they also have side gigs. They have a part-time entrepreneurship. So when they're not working, they do something else, and that mutual support has become very helpful for them. But yes, you're totally right. So North Carolina, we have a request from North Carolina. We have requests from Puerto Rico, and that's the second part is that in addition to the groups, and these groups are veteran-owned businesses that network, and that is small cohorts. We wanted to keep small cohorts, 12 to 15 members only. That way, it keeps focus. The directors can actually support everyone. We can bring resources, training, whatever the group needs. The chamber can help support and bring those programs forward to them. But the second part of that, and that's another aspect that we would like to share as a report, is that there is two new chapters that started. They just happened to start in California. One is San Bernardino, which is hosted but United Way. And then the second one is in Riverside County, which has its own each has its own director, and so those start in 2025, and in 2024, as you know, Puerto Rico got started. So and there is also that we have other ones um, that were helping get started, and it usually takes several months before they actually become official. So we have a few of them in the pipeline, which I can bring and report some of the time or the next time, and as those become official, then we can announce them. So for right now, we just keep it on the hush mode.
Well, and it's interesting because um, it sounds like the veteran-owned business groups are a great way to get started. It's small, it's lean, it's beneficial, mutually beneficial for the groups.
Mhm.
And then out of those, it wouldn't take the place of a chamber necessarily, like a chapter of the chamber in that area, but it would
Right.
be a great way to represent, and it would be seems like it would be a natural flow into more chambers getting started, so that more people who want to work with veterans are able to do that in
Mhm.
different states.
And that's true. And that's a good point because and it happens either way. Like Puerto Rico, they wanted the chapter first and the groups later. So and however the directors want to work with, I'll support that is they're leading the groups, they're leading the chapters. So I'm totally behind that. But you're right, you could start with a group and then evolve into a chapter, or start with a chapter and create its own groups. And the difference between a chapter and a group is like as a chapter, because we focus on a holistic, we have a holistic approach to to the veteran community. The chapter can help veteran-owned businesses as well as non-owned business, not veteran businesses or any businesses. So they could be just people looking for a job, or employers looking to bring more veterans to the workplace. So it has a different, wider view, wider range of services, while the veteran group is specifically for a networking, communication, connecting, and supporting each other to create a pyramid, if you will, of support. So yes. Now, one new program, and that's something that also is coming on in 2026 that I would like to kind of announce it now is the local wholesale distributor program. The Veterans Chamber has received a allocation of funds to support new businesses who would like to, or who have the skills and they have the desire to sell local products to local stores. So I'll give you an example. A farmer, or farmers typically don't go out and sell directly to the stores or to the restaurants. So in between there is distributors, and those distributors could be large companies. But what we're doing is offering that opportunity to local entrepreneurs and say, this is an opportunity. If all you have to do is find the buyer, and this is a restaurant, and the restaurant wants to buy, let's say, lemons, and locating the growers who have lemons as their product, and then the fund basically covers the expense of the purchase. So, and this is not a loan. This is an opportunity for new entrepreneurs to start a business with no out-of-pocket expense. All they have to do is have the buyer says, I'm willing to buy, let's say, 100 lemons, just to give an example, 100 lemons. And then the fund, the administration of the fund goes to the farm and basically purchases on behalf of the owner, of the entrepreneur, the product. And then the entrepreneur goes and picks up the product, delivers the product, and let's say if it's a restaurant, then the chamber invoices the restaurant, so there's no expense on the business, on the entrepreneur. All the expenses are covered for them. This is a new program, and the chamber is partnering with several organizations who they themselves either have farmers who are looking for people to distribute their product to the local market, to local stores, local restaurants, and also organizations who help veterans or anyone in the community start businesses, and gives them this opportunity to say, hey, this opportunity available, funding is behind it, you don't have to spend anything, this is the easiest way to start a business, and you have no risk. So that's also another very exciting opportunity that we're working with, and we should have it all set up, in early 2026.
That's amazing. I mean, honestly, right now, everyone's hearing about funds being cut off
Right.
instead of funds being available for things. And so
Right.
that's really
And,
amazing.
and that's
Yeah.
a good point, because two organizations that we're partnering with, their funds were cut off because there was no funding for them. So when they actually approach me and say, hey, I seen this, that you have this through Cameo, we will, is other funds available? And so, well, yeah. So I'm working with them to set it up that way. Is structured correctly, they offer it correctly, and we're helping more entrepreneurs be in business locally, and being able to represent the local economy.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so
Yes.
great. Well, so, since it sounds like you're solving a lot of the world's problems, what about housing? I feel like
Well,
housing is a huge issue for people right now too, whether they're buyers or sellers. It seems like it's such a hard market right now. And I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like you mentioned something about housing. I know we don't have a ton of time left, but I'd love to hear what you have going on.
and you're right. Yes, that's another program that we also have. Is we call it Housing for Heroes, and this program is available, for veterans, but it's also available to the community. People who want to buy a house. We're not real estate agents or brokers or anything like that, so we have to do a disclaimer on that. We don't get involved with that process. But what we do have are the resources. We have lenders, mortgage lenders, we have brokers, and we have real estate agents that become veteran-friendly agents. So the chamber does award them I'm a veteran-friendly agent, so they can basically know how to work with veterans, understand the VA process, understand the mindset of the veteran and the military families and how to help them better. And so we have that program set up, and also and we're bringing that program to multiple cities. So we have real estate agents and brokers in multiple cities who are going to be launching this program, so they can tap into their local market, their local communities. And so we have several partnerships on that. And again, that's another great program for 2026. And in 2025, but we also notice, like you said, there is a challenge between buyers and sellers and all those things. But I tell people, buying a home is great, especially as a veteran, you have a lot of benefits, you have a lot of advantages. But one thing I would really like to emphasize is, one, always first get pre-qualified to know how much you're really qualified for. And out of that 100%, make sure you look for a property that is 80% of that amount. That way you have a buffer, and it's not, and it keeps you within that range. So that's one. Second one, if you're gonna buy a property, find the property that is gonna give you income, and that's a huge part that we're helping new home buyers. Yeah, you can buy a home and then pay for it, and that becomes, in the world of accounting, a liability, because it's your money going to pay the mortgage. But what if you could actually make money with your property? Veteran or non-veteran, you can make money on the property. And one of the programs that we are helping people get into is residential homes. As a residential homes, you have the ability to bring people into that home, and the government pays for those services. So you are making money on the property that you own. And as a veteran, you can buy property that are multi-units. So you have also the opportunity to live in one unit and rent the rest. So, but this type of opportunity gives the veteran or the homeowner the ability to cover their mortgage and really make profit. It's a good program. And if you have someone who is in a residential home, that things are very expensive to go in as a resident, but it's also, on the other side of the coin, a really good business. So we have the training program that gets people from A to Z on how to get certified, how to get your property approved, and how to run it properly, so your property, your venture makes money. So yeah, so thank you for remembering that housing part.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a great update, and it's just wonderful to hear what the Chamber is doing for our veterans and for our different communities throughout the nation, especially in such hard times. So thank you so much for the update, Joe, and just we appreciate you like always. You're the reason we're here.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me, and looking forward to give you a future report, maybe in early 2026.
Sounds great. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Well, thank you so much for being with us on the Veterans Radio Show. It's just wonderful to have all of you, to have all your support, and we just hope that you will join us again next month. And we prepared a very special, I think Joe had mentioned, a very special video just to say thanks to our veterans and to all of our partners throughout the Veterans Chamber of Commerce who have served them this year. So thanks so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.